Fig fam, Figs and Coffee. And hey everyone, my name's Phil. I own Phil's Figs. I have a small backyard plant nursery where I specialize in fig trees, fruit trees, and all the other garden varieties. And if you enjoy these videos, like, subscribe, reach out with questions. I'm here to help you grow a fig tree, fruit trees, and grow your garden. So reach out with questions. Today, I'm looking at the last bit of warm weather in fall, as here in Wilmington, North Carolina, Zone 8B, we are getting our first frost. So I'm going to be shooting some content over the coming days, talking about how I am going to retrofit my greenhouse. I'm going to be bringing in a high tunnel, and I am going to be prepping my fig trees and fig nursery for the winter, which includes my fig cuttings. So I'm going to have my fig cutting sale coming in next month, and that means a lot of prep for this micro orchard and plant nursery. I have a lot of plans coming this winter, and I'm excited to share that with all of you. You know, the long-term goal is I am looking for land nearby, having an orchard, having a huge impact in the garden community here in Wilmington while making figs commonplace, right? I see so many fig trees around this area, and they grow fine, unprotected here in Wilmington, and I want to just proliferate that opportunity for people to grow figs. So join with me. That being said, today's episode, I'm discussing something that happens after fig season, and that is citrus season. And yes, you can grow citrus in North Carolina, specifically some hardy varieties like satsumas, hardy lemons, trifoliate hybrids, and yuzu varieties, right? So today I want to talk about the yuzu. It's popular in East Asian cuisine, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and I have one of my own. You can see that all my citrus is starting to ripen over here, and I still have young trees in the ground over here next to my giant avocado tree. So yes, you can grow these in Wilmington, North Carolina, Zone 8B. In fact, some of these are in the ground, and yuzu is not in the ground quite yet, but it can be. In fact, it's probably hardier than these satsuma varieties and the sugar bell tangelo variety. And many of you are familiar with yuzu in ponzu sauce, different types of sauces as an ingredient for cooking in Asian cuisine. But to be honest, they are delicious on their own. And I'm going to compare with one of these satsumas. Let's jump into it. So if you look here, I have a Meyer lemon, an Owari satsuma, Chang lemon, Lila avocado over here to the rest of my citrus collection, outside of two that I have in particular. But I have my Sanguielli blood orange. And then me, for reference, is I have my brown select satsuma, my Kimbru satsuma, my sugar bell tangelo, and then my yuzu. And over here, I have my Kaffir lime that I got from Pepper's Nursery. All of these varieties you see, I either got from Stan McKenzie down in Scranton, South Carolina. He is an awesome wealth of knowledge. I've learned so much about hardy citrus from Stan McKenzie. He's in Zone 8A actually, and grows so many varieties in the ground. And here in Zone 8B, I can grow a lot of those same varieties. This one right here I got from One Green World though. And this is my yuzu. Now Stan does have yuzu, but this one in particular, you can see it's a yuzu, and yuzus are slightly different. When you look at trifoliate hybrids, they're called trifoliate because they have 3 leaves. Satsumas, oranges, a lot of them have a single leaf, but yuzus and anything with the yuzu lineage will have this right here. It's a little bump on the leaf. You can see that there. So a yuzu pattern is a single leaf with a secondary bump leaf at the stem base. That's kind of a dead giveaway that you're working with yuzu. But these are popular in Asian cuisine, specifically Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. And right here, they are so ripe, they are delicious. Now, something you want to note so you don't damage the tree is that citrus actually is easily harvested using your pruners. So I would recommend when harvesting off of a tree, you can still rip them, don't get me wrong, but it's actually easier to use your pruners. So I'm going to grab them real quick. Okay guys, I got my clippers and I have my first yuzu. And what I love about yuzu is that it is exceptionally cold hardy. We often talk about satsumas here in the Southeast as being one of the hardiest citrus varieties you can grow in the ground, but yuzu is even hardier. And as I'm talking to you guys, I can smell the citrus aromas coming off the skin, and they're known a lot for their zests and their juice, but they can be eaten fresh as well. And they can survive down into the high teens. Not necessarily the fruit and the flowers, but the plant itself. So in the dead of winter, after you've harvested all your fruit, you can actually overwinter it in the ground here in Wilmington, North Carolina, Zone 8B. And I've heard of it being grown as far north as New Jersey with some protection. So a tasty citrus variety that's not trifoliate, that grows well in the ground in hardy regions, that's amazing. I like to compare it to my satsumas, which are exceptionally cold hardy. And this is a great opportunity to show people that there is hardy citrus out there that you can grow that is outside of our realm of knowledge of oranges, grapefruits, and lemons. So there's these great varieties that are grown elsewhere in the world that I want to introduce and show all of you. Something I love about citrus too is it starts to arrive as soon as fig season ends. So a lot of you fig growers out there that are with me on the fig fam, let's get on the citrus train because I think it is an exceptionally great fruit to grow after fig season. You can grow these in containers for their entire lives, and for those of you that are in a subtropical region like I am, you can grow this yuzu in the ground just like these satsumas or a Meyer lemon. So I'm going to compare this to one of my brown select satsumas. We're going to open it up and we're going to see. But you can see here, this is about a typical size of my yuzu. They're yellow. They're about a little bigger than my palm, slightly bumpy, and their leaf pattern is similar to a satsuma where it's just a single leaf, but it has a bump at the base of the stem for a second leaf, and that's very indicative of the yuzu fruit. So let's open this up. We're actually going to compare it to one of these brown select satsumas. And it's a beautiful time of year to have this because you can see the contrast of colors with the green in the background. And I keep it right outside and it smells fantastic and it tastes fantastic. Let's go over to the table. So right now I picked this one a little early so it's a little firm. But what's great about these yuzus is they have the same zipper skin that a satsuma has, right? So it doesn't take a lot of effort to open it up. And if I wish you guys could smell this right now because it smells unbelievable. You can see how easily it peels off. Ooh, and it just falls apart. It's a little bumpier than you would have in your satsuma varieties, but if I compare, wow, also smells delicious. You can see my satsuma. You can see my yuzu. Fantastic. So you can see how juicy that looks. You can see how juicy this looks as well. But it's almost like translucent if you really look at it, and it's a little fluffy. You can just see the juices inside. So we're gonna take a bite. Mmm. So very lemony off the bat. So if you like lemon, this tastes like eating lemonade. It is seedy. So I like eating these fresh. Because you get all those lemon flavors without the exceptionally punchy tart flavor. You get some tart. And white pulp, but extremely refreshing. And despite this, and if you really want, you can grow those seeds. Have yourself another yuzu. Look at that. Something to keep in note with citrus is that when you are caring for them, you want to do a soil mixture that is much more porous. So all of you fig lovers that are on the growing journey with me, you guys have seen my soil mix before. Well, for citrus, I take half of that soil mix and just half straight soil conditioner, and I blend it because they love well-draining soil. In fact, I get enough rain here that in the summer, I don't even have to water my citrus. And in fact, I might have to manage it so it doesn't get too wet because of our wet summers. But this yuzu does fantastic. The key though is making sure that the crown is exposed. When I say crown, I mean that the base of the roots come out of, you want that exposed. Citrus loves that exposed, otherwise it might rot. So if you go over here and look at my Harvey lemon tree, you can see the crown in here. And that's really what you want to see. You can see the exceptionally large amount of soil conditioner in the soil. And they do really well with that. In fact, the smart pots, the grow bags, do really well for citrus because it keeps it well drained and good airflow so it doesn't get too waterlogged. But with this yuzu, you can see the crown at the base here because it's still young, but it was a little too covered up and it's a little too wet. And so that's why you're seeing some of these yellow leaves. But otherwise, it'll still shed some of its leaves as it uses energy when it's a young tree, when it's ripening its fruit. So I'm not too concerned about it. I just may want to repot it this winter after it's done growing all the fruit. But let me tell you something, guys. I have fresh yuzu that is delicious. Quite seedy though. So it is a little seedier than my satsumas, but I'm okay with that. I also have my brown select that after eating yuzu just tastes like straight sugar. It's so sugary that after yuzu, I'm almost missing some of the citrusy notes of the yuzu, that lemonade flavor that you get, because it really is like eating lemonade. And it's so refreshing, especially when I have my coffee in the morning. And to know that's exceptionally cold hardy. So if I want to use it as a way to zest or cook with, that I can have those beautiful citrus flavors in that Asian cooking that I'd like to do. Or if my lemons aren't ready, because I don't have any Meyer lemons this year or Harvey lemons. And the reason is that last year I had a 25-degree freeze that I left my Harvey lemon out in, and it survived just fine, but the flowers all burned back. And so I didn't get any fruit this year. But now I have yuzu, and I can use that to cook with chickens and pork recipes and even just sauces that I want to make. And so I'm really excited for that. I can even take a slice of it and I can put it in some hot water like I would with a lemon. It's a little wrinklier because of the zipper skin. Guys, if you just want that nice zesty, citrusy flavor in the morning that's not as overpowering as some lemons, and you want to be able to eat it fresh, I think yuzu's for you. Now, I got mine at One Green World, but I know Stan McKenzie has it as well, and at McKenzie Farms, so check those guys out, check One Green World out, and actually check Madison Citrus Farms down in Georgia out as well. My blood orange is from Madison Citrus Nursery, and so is one of my Citramons, which is a lemon trifoliate hybrid. But I want to highlight that yuzu is not in the trifoliate family. It is on its own family. I think that there are 3 main branches that you have in the citrus family, and one is the pomelo, one branch is the trifoliate, and then I think there is another 3rd branch that I'm not going to get into because I can't speak to it quite yet, because I really just want to share this yuzu. But guys, now that fig season is over, we're branching out. I'm talking citrus here. I have about 15 citrus varieties that I'm testing out right now, and about 6 of them have fruited for me, and I love all 6. Yuzu is included. It's going to stay with me here in my backyard food forest and orchard. But if you guys are looking for something that's lemony, that is hearty, that is delicious, that you can cook with and eat fresh, check out Yuzu and reach out with questions. If this was helpful for you, subscribe, like. I'm here to help you grow fruit trees, guys. I'm here to help you garden. Cheers, fam.